forecast first.
Good evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe. Skies right now are clear and eventually turning partly cloudy by midnight, but temperatures still holding pretty steady in the lower 80s. 81 degrees right now in Waco. And your forecast first shows partly cloudy skies at midnight, 77. Increasing clouds overnight, so mostly cloudy at 6. Tomorrow morning, 74, and a lot of clouds at 9 and 78 degrees. It looks dry but very warm tomorrow, but showers and storms are on the way for Wednesday, that is. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. Fox 44 News starts right now.
Coming up on Fox 44, the alarming rate of drownings in Bell County already before summer even officially hits.
And as Memorial Day comes to a close, how Central Texans remembered those who died for our country.
And after 5 months of work, why the feeling at the state capitol rather is a little different than any sessions they've seen before.
Live from Waco, Temple, and Killeen. Your news now. This is Fox 44 News at 9.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm Robert Burns.
And I'm Leslie Rangel. Bell County game wardens tonight say 5 people have drowned this year alone in Bell County. And as pool and lake season kicks off, authorities urge folks to be careful.
Fox 44's Kendall Green joining us now live in the newsroom with more.
Robert and Leslie, 3 out of 5 drownings that happened in Bell County this year happened within the last 2 weeks. We spoke to a game warden who says this number is higher than usual.
Yeah, as it stands right now, we've got 4 drownings on Belton, 1 of them on Stillhouse, and 3 out of the 5 are all vessel related.
Brent Bernstein, a Bell County game warden, worries it's barely the start of summer.
That kind of all coincides with the holiday weekend, unfortunately. Or, getting close to the holidays, people are getting out to the summertime or getting out of school, so they have more time to recreate on the lakes and the area lakes and things of that nature.
But game wardens noticed one common pattern.
In all of those instances, nobody was wearing a life jacket, and so our recommendation is that everybody, have a life jacket on.
He says most follow the rule to have life jackets present, but they just don't put them on.
If for whatever reason you get out of the boat or it capsizes or there's an accident that occurs, and that boat gets away from you, that life jacket's going to save your life. We do not ever pull up any drowning victims that were wearing their life jackets.
A small task with large ripple effects.
We just recommend that if you're going to be out in the lake swimming around or whatever, have a partner that can be with you in case you get in trouble or something like that. That's one of the recommendations that we have. Stay close to shore, because the lakes are up and high.
Along with wearing life jackets, he warns that you shouldn't be out in the water alone, and if you can, stay close to the shores. But reporting in the control room, Kendall Green, Fox 44 News.
Killeen police tonight are searching for 2 men accused of holding up the Gateway Food Mart on West Elms Road. Officials say the men walked into the store with guns and demanded cash from a store employee. One man was wearing a ponytail with a white Chicago Bulls hat. The other was wearing a black Cleveland Indians cap and glasses. Both were seen wearing bright yellow Walmart vests. If you know anything, call police.
A Waco man behind bars this afternoon for drug possession. The arrest happening yesterday morning, though, in Clifton while police were performing a welfare check. Authorities say they found the 55-year-old man with meth, narcotics, illegal medications, and a scale.
Tomorrow morning, the city of Mart is hosting a special city council meeting discussing the chief of police. Paul Cardenas was forced to resign for unknown reasons. Earlier this month, 4 Mart police officers resigned. The meeting starts at 7:15 in the morning at Mart City Hall.
The McLennan County Sheriff's Office, they're going to take over the Jack Harwell Detention Center. The jail currently being run by LaSalle Corrections will be handed over to McLennan County on October 1st. Now, under LaSalle, the detention center has been declared non-compliant several times. Inspections have revealed the facility failed to properly screen potentially suicidal inmates or inmates with mental illness. Well, today, America remembered the men and women of our armed forces. The Central Texas State Veteran Cemetery welcoming veterans and families for the Memorial Day ceremony. Fox 44's Anna Thrash shows us how they honored those who gave their lives.
Major General Paul Calvert gave the Memorial Day remarks today, and during his speech he read from a letter written by a soldier during World War II. That man's family was at the ceremony today and says they're proud to see their father's legacy live on.
It's been such an honor to be here and to be asked to come.
Rebecca Dowdy and Debbie Hackestig visited the Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery today to hear a letter written by their father while in the Army. He wrote the letter in 1945 to his mother while in Berlin.
The letter chronicles 11 months of an eyewitness account in a soldier's life, from Normandy all the way through when the Germans surrendered.
Private Wayne Andrus was a glider pilot and a medic who fought in some of World War II's biggest campaigns, like the Battle of the Bulge. Andrus died a month ago and was laid to rest in the Veterans Cemetery.
In fact, they put my dad's letter up on their wall of honor here at the cemetery. And I was so amazed. I thought it was just important to the family. And how it survived all of these years from 1945, I don't know.
Major Calvert picked the letter in part to recognize Andrus's service.
And I read. It's been a little while since I last wrote to you, but I haven't forgotten you. I've been moving too much lately.
I'm overwhelmed because, I knew my dad was great, but I didn't realize that letter, how important it is for Texas or for anybody that was in the war.
The ceremony ended in a laying of wreaths and the crowd singing America the Beautiful. In the control room, Anna Thrash, Fox 44 News.
A child, the center of an Amber Alert last night at around 10:45, was found and it turns out was never in danger to begin with. Here's what we know. It started when the child's father reported someone stole his car with his 4-year-old son inside from an East Dallas McDonald's. It set off a massive search, including canines and ATVs. Eventually, the vehicle was found and police arrested 3 people for the theft, but police later learned the child was with his mother the entire time and never in the car like his father claimed. The child's father is currently not in police custody, and we don't know if he'll face any charges. Today marks the end of nearly 5 months of work at the state capitol. Lawmakers in the Texas House say this session had a different, more positive feel. Fox 44's Steffi Lee speaks to some of them to find out why.
So I've always signed over here on top of the House.
State Representative Drew Springer has all the legislators in the Texas House sign his poster after the end of every session. They're red and blue and together.
But Texas, we intermix. We sit with each other, we eat with each other.
And most lawmakers in this chamber felt like that was the tone from the start.
There was more a feeling of equity, of evenness.
I'm feeling great. It's been a great session, very productive.
They point to accomplishments on top priorities: a balanced budget, property tax reform, and school finance.
I think that has to be our biggest victory this session, and I think that whether you're Republican, Democrat, I think everybody was incredibly happy with how that turned out.
Outside of those topics, lawmakers also addressed other critical issues, like getting a statewide flood plan.
If and when, we have additional natural disasters and flood problems, the planning that can start now will really make a difference to prevent some of the catastrophic damage that we have suffered with hurricanes and the likes.
And the problem of child sex trafficking.
Minors will no longer be arrested for the crime of prostitution. We'll be sending these children to local care coordinators where they're eligible for emergency housing, medical treatment.
But the work never stops.
There's always business left undone, and certainly I don't think there's anybody that would say every issue's been tackled.
Governor Greg Abbott will have until June 16th to sign or veto the bills that made it to the desk from this session. The Texas legislature will meet again in 2021.
Well, if there is major hurricane action like Hurricane Harvey and it hits the unprotected Texas coastline, it could cost the Lone Star State hundreds of billions of dollars. We're not talking about just the damage, though. A&M Galveston and the Texas General Land Office working on an impact study to determine the economic impact. Researchers found that housing sales and economic output would drop, while gas prices would likely go up. The Army Corps of Engineers working on a plan to build a 74-mile barrier to block future storms. All right, still to come, a pair of mothers brought together this Memorial Day over the deaths of their 2 sons.
And a fire at a parking garage sends smoke all across Houston. We'll show you the video coming up.
But next, Texas is without a Secretary of State. The botched voter rolls that didn't end.
You're watching Fox 44 News at 9. with Leslie Rangel, Robert Burns, AMS certified chief meteorologist Mike LaPointe, and sports with Matt Roberts. Sponsored by RodeoBelton.com. Don't miss your chance to see this one-of-a-kind, family-friendly festivity, July 4th through 6th at the Bell County Expo Center. Tickets available at RodeoBelton.com.
Hey Central Texas, I have a beauty secret for you. I'm here at M Nails and Beauty Salon, and if you need lashes, eyebrows, nails, or a pedicure, this is the place for you. Let's check it out. The nail salon has many different types of manicures and really takes pride in keeping the integrity of the natural nail by focusing on the cuticles. They also stay on trend with all of their nail art. Now I feel fantastic and look fantastic. Get them, love M.
Please be on sale. Woo! Save $300 bucks. I'm 2 for 2, baby.
During the extended Memorial Day sale at Furniture Row, you'll find tons of great savings.
Like the more you buy, the more you save?
That's right. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend.
Financing?
How about 4 years, no interest?
Special buys?
Check.
What else you got?
Free stuff when you spend $29.99 or more.
Woo! Everything's coming up, Cindy.
Hurry, the extended Memorial Day sale at Furniture Row ends soon.
As a thank you for your service, all first responders, active military, veterans, and retirees receive $750 appreciation cash on top of all current offers.
More people are switching to Ram than ever before because Ram gives you more power, more towing, more capability. And we've got the most awarded truck in America, so you can get on to bigger things. The all-new Ram 1500 and new Ram 3500. Hurry into the Ram Memorial Day sales event.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on 2018 or 2019 Ram 1500 Classic models or 2018 Ram 2500 and 3500 models.
It's a 4th of July celebration like no other. The Belton Area Chamber of Commerce invites you to celebrate June 29th through July 7th, starting with a downtown street party, carnival, parade, backyard party, and fireworks at Chef's Barbecue, Western Gift Show, and PRCA Rodeo. Live music, fireworks, shopping, food, and so much more. Bring the whole family for a weekend of celebration. Visit RodeoBelton.com for all the details, deals, and tickets. It's the 4th of July celebration and PRCA Rodeo, June 29th through July 7th. Family fun for all.
Imagine being able to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. Sandals, more quality inclusions than any other resorts on the planet. Save up to 65%. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Weather Rate certified most accurate forecast in Central Texas. This is Fox 44 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe.
Today being day number 6 in a row that we've hit at least 90 degrees or hotter here in Waco. And it looks like this trend may continue at least for tomorrow before some rain moves in on Wednesday. Take a look at the almanac for today, topping out at 91 degrees. The record high 100. So we didn't get close to the record, thank goodness. By the way, the low temperature, as you can see, 72 degrees. A little bit milder than where we should be in the upper 60s. Pollen count for today, the mold and the grass still in the moderate category, the tree and the weeds in the low category. Tomorrow morning for the bus stop forecast, we are looking at, again, partly to mostly cloudy skies and temperatures around 7 o'clock, 74 degrees, a little sunshine by noon, 86, and partly sunny, breezy in the afternoon, about 90 degrees at 3 o'clock. Dry tomorrow, but showers and storms are on the way for Wednesday. And some of these may be severe, and we'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. A day of honor and remembrance over at Arlington National Cemetery, and a story of 2 mothers who didn't know each other, but whose paths crossed because of the deaths of their sons. Camila Brunel has the story.
2 mothers and an extraordinary bond.
We got the knock on the door from the casualty officers at 9 o'clock at night. They came to our door.
Both sons killed on Mother's Day 2005.
Beth is Larry's Arlington mother because we live from afar. And when she comes, she always gives him a hug for me.
Now these Gold Star mothers hold hands and remember their sons and the many others who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Nicholas and Larry are here, and all of the rows in front of them represent lives that were lost. And this is Memorial Day, so this is where we need to be.
Vice President Mike Pence also spending Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery. After laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, the vice president delivering a message of honor and gratitude.
This is the day that makes possible all other American days. Without it, without the sacrifice we honor at patriots' graves from the four corners of our land and overseas, there would be no other American days.
Pence also expressing comfort and condolences to the families for whom every day is Memorial Day.
Please don't forget the brothers and sisters in arms that serve beside these men and women. They need you to know that they loved them as well and they were their families, and just take care of them.
In Washington, I'm Camila Bernal.
Sailors who died in submarines were also honored over the weekend at the Toll the Bells ceremony in New York. Hundreds of veterans and their families were at the event. The ceremony taking place at the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park. A veteran rang the bell for each of the 52 submarines lost in World War II. Dozens of fallen heroes from Western New York also remembered at the location, with the dedication of a plaque honoring 66 people.
From the Allen Samuels of Hearn Sports Center, it's Fox 44 Sports with Mandy Knight.
Well, it marks the third year that the Baylor Bears are heading to regionals, and the second straight year they are going to the West Coast after playing at Stanford last year. And this season they are going to the #1 ranked team in the nation, the UCLA Bruins. Now, going to California is exciting for a number of players and even the coaching staff, as many of them have California roots, paired with a great support system out there. As they get set to play Loyola Marymount on Friday, the team feels like it'll be a home away from home atmosphere.
And for me, that's a big deal because I'll have a lot of friends and family to be there. And honestly, we have a lot of kids here from California.
All of a sudden, everybody starts getting on their phones and texting all their families and all their friends. And so I can guarantee you their fan contingency out there is going to be pretty good.
Really looking forward to it. This team loves California. I think I even said last year that this is this team's second home. You know, Rod and the staff being California natives and so much of the guys being from California, it's going to be a blast.
Later on, I'll have more from the Bears, but for now, that's all. Leslie Robert, back to you.
Coming up, tornadoes aren't the only disasters Oklahomans are dealing with. What heavy rainwaters are causing.
And a judge in hot water for calling out the president. It's not the first time that this judge has gone after a commander-in-chief, though.
And you can get the forecast and news updates all day on these local radio stations.
There's no greater drama than sports, and a lot of times it does the talking for you. You try to stay out of the way and let the moment speak for itself. That's what I want to bring to you every night on Fox 44.
You know, things are different here in Texas. For instance, fiddle players are rock stars. Cowboy boots are formal wear. And ice cream is Creamy Creations. Churned in the heart of Texas, from deep in the heart of HEB. If you're not from here, well, you just don't get it. It's creamy. It's tasty. It's how Texas does ice cream.
It got to a point where I was losing everything because of drugs and alcohol.
I knew that what I was doing and what I was going through was killing me.
I could not stop drinking, so my wife called the Watershed.
Addicts can recover. Addicts do recover.
And we at the Watershed Addiction Treatment Programs believe every addict deserves the opportunity to heal. So for the past 20 years, we've proudly treated 50,000 people and helped them overcome this seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. Addiction professionals at the Watershed will get to the underlying cause of your addiction while treating you with dignity and respect in a safe and comfortable medical environment. We promise we won't pose a financial hardship on you. We work with all insurance companies and will make treatment affordable for you today. So call us, stop dying, start living, and call a caring professional 24/7 at the Watershed. Call now.
Central Texans have high expectations for their vehicle, so make it Killeen Auto Sales. With the largest inventory of clean, reliable, and affordable cars, trucks, and SUVs, the tremendous staff at Killeen Auto Sales will make sure to get you in the perfect ride. Do you have credit issues? Killeen Auto Sales will get you approved and help rebuild that score. And now through June 15th, every test drive gets a chance to spin our wheel and win great prizes. So visit Killeen Auto Sales today, now with 2 locations, and buy with confidence.
Switch to the Reliant Truly Free Weekends plan plus Google Home Hub. So you can crank up the competition and the AC. And since your electricity is free all weekend, it's game on. That's life switched on. Reliant.
KWKT, it's TV for me. Covering McGregor, San Saba, and Bryant. This is Fox 44 News at 9.
Over in Abilene, some people decided to ditch the flip-flops today for tennis shoes, participating in the Murph Challenge, an annual intense workout. But Jessica Rancic reports it's the meaning behind the workout that really matters.
Showing up, pulling up, and getting low.
For us, it's not just another workout.
Dozens dedicating a little bit of pain and sweat this Memorial Day for a man who gave everything he had to his country.
Lieutenant Michael Murphy was in the military, and he gave his life for his platoon. So we figured it was only right to do the Murph Challenge on a day where we're focusing on remembering those that have given the ultimate sacrifice.
The workout consists of 2 one-mile runs, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 squats. And it's become a bit of a tradition here in Abilene, bringing together people of all ages to push it to the limit.
We work out all year long, and for us to come up here with our family and do this together it's just fun.
It's not about doing the hardest version. We try to make it to where we just want you to come out and participate and sweat and think about the spirit of why you get to have your freedom, why you get to come out here and do this.
We have, the 20-year-olds working alongside the 35 and the 50 and the 60-year-olds. We have military, working alongside, physical therapists. It's people of all different backgrounds.
And through all the running, push-ups, pull-ups, and squats, it's a workout that means so much more than burning a few calories.
When you're on your second mile, or when you got 200 push-ups left and you're thinking about, man, I want to quit, you kind of go back and think about the people who served and who died for you, and that kind of helps you push through and say, okay, this is not about me today.
Police in Houston are investigating a fire that erupted inside a parking garage Sunday. The fire sent smoke all over downtown. Here's what the aftermath looks like. According to authorities, the fire started with a car in the parking garage. 2 cars were destroyed. There were no reports or injuries, and the cause was not immediately known. In Ellis County, 40 minutes south of Dallas, members of the farming and ranching community are turning to what they know best to make some new friends. Katie Blakely has more on the story.
No matter where you come from or who you are, we could all use a buddy.
We are happy that you are here. We are quickly trying to find your buddies.
That's the idea behind Ellis County's A Day in the Ring.
Did you find your partner?
When 300 4-H and FFA students pair up with 300 special needs youth.
Eli, this is Stripe. Right. You want to pat him?
Volunteers spend the day teaching how to care for their animals and how to show them off in the arena.
Logan Walker.
I tell you what, I don't think there's a bad lamb in this entire group. Good job.
I just love seeing other people who don't normally get to do this. They get to come out here and do it.
So you got somebody from Italy to help you from Venice? That's big.
Alex and Kobe bonded over their pig, Tina.
Oh, I know he loves it. He has so much fun with it.
Way to go, girls!
For those in the stands, it can be just as much fun to watch.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see how others engage and they have no fear. I tell them to enjoy and embrace the moment because life is precious.
The hope is everyone here will learn something from each other.
Hoot. Cute. She makes me laugh. Everything.
Something about compassion, understanding, and being open to new friendships.
And this is what it's all about right here, guys.
Good job, boys.
That's what it's all about.
You won. You did good.
First place, baby.
All right, in other news, Texas is without a Secretary of State. David Whitley handing over his resignation to Governor Abbott after the Texas Senate failed to vote on his confirmation. Whitley's office was behind a botched scouring of voter rolls that reignited accusations of voter suppression in the state. Elections officials identified nearly 100,000 voters flagged as potential non-citizens, but the data was deeply flawed. A Utah judge is in trouble for criticizing President Trump, and it's not the first time that he has faced controversy for publicly condemning a U.S. president. Scott McLean reports.
It's not hard to find harsh criticism aimed at the president. Where you don't expect to find it is inside a courtroom. But a municipal judge in suburban Salt Lake City has been sanctioned for just that, taking public potshots at President Trump. Just days after the 2016 election, Judge Michael Kwan wrote on Facebook, "Think I'll go to the shelter to adopt a cat," before the president-elect grabs them all, an apparent reference to the Access Hollywood tape.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
On Inauguration Day, Kwan wrote about his disdain for President Trump. The next month, he wrote, "Welcome to the beginning of the fascist takeover." The jabs even made it into his courtroom. Kwan once suggested a defendant not rely on his tax refund to pay fines because the president was building a wall. So if you think you're going to get taxes back this year, yeah, maybe not. But don't worry, there's a tax cut for the wealthy. Greg Skordas is Kwan's lawyer.
We had argued unsuccessfully that judges are humans too, that judges have opinions, that so long as that opinion doesn't detract from their ability to judge, to handle their cases appropriately, and doesn't detract from their credibility, that they should be allowed to do that.
The Utah Supreme Court disagreed, writing, "Judge Kwan's behavior denigrates his reputation as an impartial, independent, dignified, and courteous jurist, and that his postings continue a pattern of inappropriate political commentary." In 2005, Kwan made lewd comments in court about President Clinton's affair. In 2015, he was president of an Asian American political advocacy group. He resigned after a judicial commission found his involvement unethical. He was publicly scolded in both cases, but the Supreme Court felt he hadn't learned his lesson, ordering a 6-month suspension without pay, a punishment Skordas called excessive.
I think he feels like he's been muzzled in a way that's inappropriate, but I think he also recognizes that that's the law, and he intends to abide by it.
Kwan doesn't rule on national or political cases, only small claims and misdemeanors, but the court ruled that doesn't matter.
Maybe you're a Trump supporter and you appear in front of him. You're going to feel like you weren't treated fairly because this judge had bad feelings about Trump. Our system works because people have to have confidence in the system.
Weather Rate certified most accurate forecast in Central Texas. This is Fox 44 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe.
All right, Mike, a little bit of a cloudy start today. I was beginning to wonder if it was going to rain, and then the sun came out, and then I watched your forecast, and it looks like we are expecting some rain later on.
We are. Tomorrow looks like we had the weather we had today. You know, clouds in the morning, sunshine in the afternoon, but then our rain chances begin to go up. There they go right there. Wednesday and Thursday, a 50-50 chance of showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to have to watch those thunderstorms late Wednesday and maybe even to early Thursday, that some of these might be strong to severe. There will be the possibility of severe weather again late Wednesday and then again Thursday. The Storm Prediction Center already has us under a slight risk on Wednesday, and again, we've got to watch out for that hail, wind, heavier rainfall, which could lead to some flooding problems, and also an isolated tornado can't be ruled out either. And as we approach the end of the weekend, just 20% chance. I wouldn't cancel any plans. You know how that goes. It's summertime just about, and we are going to be looking at a chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. But right now, all is quiet. Skies are clear to partly cloudy right now in our region. There's the dry line up and down the panhandles, and it looks like that will be the focus of showers and thunderstorms as we turn the page late Thursday, actually late Tuesday into Wednesday. As for tonight, it is 81 degrees here in Waco, 77 in Mexia, 80 Temple as well as Killeen. Current temperature in Lampasas right now, right at 79 degrees. And there's a little bit of a heat index. Feels like 80 right now in Lampasas, 81 in Gatesville. And here in Waco, our current heat index at 82 degrees. So this is what I expect in. At midnight tonight, still looking at mainly clear skies. Temperatures will be in the 70s, but with our southeast wind, that will not only blow in some clouds, but also more moisture. So you notice those low temperatures really not doing much. Lower 70s tomorrow morning under mostly cloudy skies. And as we go throughout the day tomorrow, again, a lot of clouds, little sunshine developing in the afternoon, and we'll try to pop up a few isolated showers and storms to our west out ahead of the dry line, but still quiet conditions here in Waco, Temple, and Killeen. Notice the highs, upper 80s to lower 90s. There's the shower activity, and that's at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. As we go late Tuesday into early Wednesday, kind of falls apart a little bit there. We're losing a lot of that heat, which is giving it some energy, the storms. And I basically think that by early in the morning on Wednesday, skies will be mostly cloudy, but look how muggy it'll be. 75 to start. There's that complex of showers and storms off to our west. As we go throughout the day and that southerly flow kicks in, the heat of the day, showers and thunderstorms will start to fire up. Now, we do have a cap on top of us. That'll prevent some thunderstorms from going up in the afternoon. The question will be, will the cap hold long enough as this little disturbance moves through? By 5 o'clock, there's a line of showers and storms developing off to our west. Looks like that will be moving our way late Wednesday into early Thursday. There's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, and you can see we are under a slight risk of severe weather. That is for Wednesday night here in our region. 73 degrees, increasing clouds overnight, and then tomorrow mostly cloudy skies, very warm conditions, about 92 degrees the high. And then as we look ahead, there it is, 50-50 chance on Wednesday and Thursday with some showers and thunderstorms. We're going to keep an eye on the radar for you as we hit the weekend. Temperatures will be in the lower 90s, low temperatures in the 70s, and down toward Bryan and College Station, kind of the same story. Little bump in the road there Wednesday, Thursday, even early Friday. By the weekend, more sunshine and clouds in the forecast with highs low to mid 90s.
All right, summer's pretty much officially here at this point, especially with the weather doing whatever it wants to do. Fortunately, rather minor for us.
Yeah, but other parts of the country have seen a lot of severe weather.
Yes, they have.
The deadly tornado in Oklahoma over the weekend, and of course, they're not only dealing with tornadoes. Maureen Wartz reports the Arkansas River right now still swollen past its banks, causing catastrophic flooding.
The unusual roar of the Arkansas River.
I'm losing my bearings just trying to figure out, yes, this is where I would run down. And I can't believe all this water.
And the white caps on the water.
The rush of the water and the wind is insane.
All make for a mesmerizing sight for a river that's typically filled with sandbars.
They say if you walk across these bridges, you can just feel the current pushing the bridge.
The river out of its banks, and now a concern for many. Will the water-worn levees hold up against this historic flood?
Gosh, I've never seen it like this. Of course, with Keystone letting out, what, 275,000 cubic feet per second?
The levees all around Tulsa are more than 70 years old. There's been talk for years about the need to update them, and now the aging levees are being put to the test, as 1.2 million gallons of water are pouring into the Arkansas River every second.
The power of the water, it's incredible on how it's come right over on the trail now.
So far, the levees are holding, and authorities are stressing that. But they're also advising people living near the levees, be prepared. If something goes wrong, there won't be much time to escape.
All right, coming up next at 9, you got to watch out. Scammers are now using your iTunes account to rack up thousands in charges.
And in Fox 44 Sports, we'll find out why the Baylor Bears have an advantage heading to UCLA's regional.
And we're showing you a unique way that military members are transitioning to civilian life with the sound of music.
Sponsored by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Stop by this month for Camo Cup for a Cause, benefiting military charities.
In Texas, there's a spirit of independence that moves us, inspires us. Now it's time again to celebrate it. The Great American Sales Event at your Texas Ford dealer with limited time savings on America's best-selling trucks 42 straight years. Like Ford F-150, now with 0% financing for 72 months plus $2,500 discount package on XLT. Let the Great American Sales Event inspire you at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
Please be on sale. Woo! Save $300! During the extended Memorial Day sale at Furniture Row, you'll find tons of great savings. Like the more you buy, the more you save. And 4 years, no interest. Hurry, the extended Memorial Day sale at Furniture Row ends soon.
Nothing brings a family together like fun around the backyard pool. Here is your last chance to make that happen, and the price has never been better. For a limited time, Blue World Pools has the big 15 by 24 Econoline pool for not $3.99, not even $3.49. If you call now, that pool can be yours for only $2.99. That price still includes pump, filter, liner, ladder, and a free automatic pool cleaner. All that including free installation on your ready site for just $2.99. That's a $1,995 value for only $2.99. That's awesome! Call Blue World Pools now and take advantage of this incredible offer. Want more pizzazz? Of course you do! So jump up to our midline pool or grab for it all with Blue World Pools' top-of-the-line classic pool, the ultimate in high-style living. The choice is yours. But remember, this is your last chance to take advantage of our limited-time offer. The price will never get any better than this. How could it? Call Blue World Pools right now and beat that heat.
You're a big deal to us, so we've got big deals for you. Get more at the Big Deal event back at Men's Warehouse this Memorial Day. Shop our lowest price of the season with 60% off all linen. All dress shirts are 3 for $99.99, plus suits are starting at $199.99. Only at Men's Warehouse.
Have your news with you wherever you are. Download the free Centex Proud mobile app.
It's the extended Memorial Day sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or get $100 off any Doctor's Choice Original, plus 4 years no interest. Hurry, the extended Memorial Day sale at Denver Mattress ends soon.
A nonprofit is giving free music lessons to vets. Fox's Ray Bogan reports the program is an effective therapy for soldiers with PTSD.
Trauma and combat experienced by service members can have lifelong impacts, but one organization wants to help military members with music.
We have a macro vision of just eliminating suicide in the military community.
The Warrior Music Foundation has 40 active students, 20 more beginning soon, and a wait list of 50.
We're going to keep somebody as long as they're finding value in the program.
Brian Quinlan is a former Navy electronic warfare specialist. He spent years moving from base to base. Now he's sticking with this base. Quinlan takes lessons with his son and says they're educational and soothing.
Me and my instructor will just sit here and talk. We'll play for 5 minutes, talk for 5 minutes.
The lessons are offered with optional music therapy. Instructors and therapists say the sessions are more than an escape. The music is truly healing.
They might be blocking off processing through some portions. Music has a way of just kind of routing around that. Your brain is firing all these different neural connections.
Healing is exactly what some veterans need.
I thought I was going to die.
Army veteran Jessica Kuyat says she's a victim of military sexual trauma. Now she takes guitar and voice lessons. She also writes songs, poetry, and journals.
I finally had a voice to express them. They weren't just on paper anymore. I could actually hear it.
Kuyat says these lessons help her overcome PTSD.
I was thinking, well, I haven't been in combat. They're not going to include someone like me. My whole purpose for being here today is to let people know that it is here for military sexual trauma as well.
In Millersville, Maryland, Ray Bogan, Fox News.
In your Fox 44 Consumer Report, French car maker Renault is considering a merger with Fiat Chrysler. The deal would reshape the global auto industry and help companies compete in the race for electric and self-driving cars. Now, Fiat Chrysler owns brands that you already know, like Jeep, Dodge, and Maserati, and if completed, the merger would create the world's third largest car maker behind Volkswagen and Toyota. General Motors would fall to fourth in the global rankings.
Thanks to a new creation, your sneakers stand a chance at staying clean. Firebox is the retailer selling shoe condoms. The online store says they protect your shoes from street-transmitted dirt. Shoe condoms come in medium and large sizes, and the company says they're waterproof, dirt-proof, and even machine washable. The pair sells online for $11.
Scammers are using iTunes as a disguise to make fake purchases and adding the fake iTunes charges to your accounts. That means you're stuck paying for it. The charges have a unique title as the name of the purchase with a California phone number afterward. Now, the idea is that you make you think about something that you may have bought through iTunes. Financial site Money Tips recommends, though, regularly checking your purchase history under the Apple account linked to your card to see if you even recognize any of those. All right, still to come, the definition of a gaming addict, what experts are labeling with this disorder.
You're preparing for your day. Trust Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe and the Fox 44 Storm Team. Fox 44 News, weather rate certified. Central Texas' most accurate forecast.
The 2019 Nissan Armada. Intelligence with an attitude.
Get a low $349 per month lease on the 2019 Armada.
The scenery here is gorgeous, but I wonder if it's distracting me from Suddenlink's spring sale and being able to watch all of my favorite shows. I can't wait to get out of this serene, natural paradise and back to my Altice One, which I got for only $54.99 a month for the first year. So now I have 100 meg internet, 4K Ultra HD TV, and over 200 channels. I even got a $150 American Express prepaid card. Call 888-809-1955 today or visit suddenlink.com. Altice One, only at Suddenlink.
In Texas, there's a spirit that moves us, a freedom that inspires us. Now it's time again to celebrate it. I love the American road. The Great American Sales Event at your Texas Ford dealer with limited time savings on America's best-selling brand. Like the 2019 Ford Escape, now with $6,250 total cash back for current Ford owners. Let the Great American Sales Event inspire you at your Best in Texas Ford dealer.
Switch to the Reliant Truly Free Weekends plan plus Google Home Hub. So you can crank up the competition and the AC. And since your electricity is free all weekend, it's game on. That's life switched on. Reliant.
See news happening, report it, and win $100.
All right, in your Fox 44 Health Report, Oklahoma has an $85 million settlement agreement with Teva Pharmaceuticals. Now, the terms of the settlement agreement may take up to 2 weeks to finalize, though. The funds will then be used to fight the opioid crisis in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's trial against the remaining defendants and nation's largest drug manufacturer, Johnson & Johnson, is still set for Tuesday.
All right, parents, if your kiddos spend a lot of time in front of the gaming machines, listen to this one. The World Health Organization is recognizing gaming disorder as an addiction. And now, in order to be considered a true gaming addict, someone would have to show signs of impaired control over gaming, increased priority given to the games, and continued gaming despite possible negative consequences. Experts say a gaming disorder does not necessarily go hand in hand with total time spent playing, but rather the addictive patterns shown again and again over time. So don't be too quick to label your child, because there are benefits to gaming. Just everything in moderation.
Some financial
right,
benefits
Robert?
for sure, absolutely. Experts say speaking out loud to a loved one who has passed is helpful in the grieving process. Now, some post messages to their loved ones online, but actually speaking those words out loud, experts say, is best. Talking at a gravesite or even to an empty chair can help some people resolve the disbelief that the person that they cared for is actually gone.
The Transportation Security Administration now permits an FDA-approved epilepsy drug containing cannabis on flights. The TSA recently updated its guidance to passengers on what can be brought on planes. Now, some forms of medical marijuana can now be brought on board or inside your checked luggage. The agency notes under federal law, possession of marijuana and some cannabis-infused products still remains illegal. 1 in 4 women experience some form of domestic violence, and survivors are often left to deal with the trauma even years later. James Dinan spoke with survivors and has more in today's Health Minute.
When I was 7 months pregnant, he did push me during an argument. I called a cousin back home in Georgia, and he encouraged me to leave.
Longtime TV anchor Dee Griffin left an abusive marriage nearly 8 years ago, but still suffers from the trauma of domestic violence today.
I saw a couple arguing in a parking lot last week, and it brought back memories.
Psychotherapist Ayanna Johnson says that is not uncommon that survivors of domestic violence suffer long term.
So post-traumatic stress disorder is a disorder that is caused by a traumatic event that someone survives.
She says that one can see, hear, smell, and even feel from touch something that can trigger memories of violent experiences.
Many studies have shown that there are mental health effects as a result of intimate partner violence, such as clinical depression, as a result of feelings of hopelessness, anxiety, suicidal ideation, and even attempts.
To work through these long-term effects, both Griffin and Johnson say survivors must first acknowledge they need help.
By telling my truth, I help others, but I continue to help myself and realize it was not my fault.
For today's Health Minute, I'm James Dinan.
All right, coming up after the break, how about this little guy?
I like it.
Seattle squirrel hooked on a feeling. I like that song. What this woman is craving more than anything else.
She's a little plump, too.
Look at her. Put him down, girl.
Furry friend. Well, coming up in Fox 44 Sports, we'll hear from the Aggie baseball team and their thoughts on traveling up north for regionals.
Or preparing for your day. Trust Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe and the Fox 44 Storm Team. Fox 44 News, weather rate certified. Central Texas' most accurate forecast.
In Waco, Texas, we like to win. On the ball field, in the boardroom, we welcome competition. We work hard. We play fair. And at Jeff Hunter Toyota, we're determined to do whatever it takes to win your trust. In Waco, this is who we are, and this is what we drive. Shop Jeff Hunter Toyota. Toyota quality, Waco values.
For over 50 years, Cracker Barrel has been cooking home-style favorites to perfection. We thought we'd celebrate that tradition with new, crispy, juicy Southern Fried Chicken. Bring it on home in our 12-piece picnic box with all the fixins. New Southern Fried Chicken, now at Cracker Barrel.
Wimpy trash bags, come on.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Hey ladies, buy Hefty Ultra Strong at a low price.
Dada.
I wish.
Get Hefty Ultra Strong. Costs less than Glad Force Flex were sold head-to-head.
You're a big deal to us, so we've got big deals for you. Get more at the Big Deal event back at Men's Warehouse this Memorial Day. Shop our lowest price of the season with 60% off all linen. All dress shirts are 3 for $99.99, plus suits are starting at $199.99. Only at Men's Warehouse.
In Texas, there's a spirit of independence that moves us, inspires us. Now it's time again to celebrate it. The Great American Sales Event at your Texas Ford dealer with limited time savings on America's best-selling trucks 42 straight years. Like Ford F-150, now with 0% financing for 72 months plus $2,500 discount package on XLT. Let the Great American Sales Event inspire you at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
We all want to protect what we love. In 2018, 42% of teens who died in crashes weren't wearing a seatbelt. Buckle up, every rider, every ride. If you love it, click it. That includes you, too. Brought to you by TxDOT.
Never miss your news. Have your news with you wherever you are. Download the free Centex Proud mobile app and watch Fox 44 News. Streamed live at 5:30, 6, and 9. From the Allen Samuels of Hearn Sports Center, it's Fox 44 Sports with Mandy Knight.
Welcome back. Baylor's baseball team is heading to Los Angeles for regionals. UCLA is playing host to Baylor, Loyola Marymount, and Omaha. Now Baylor squares off against Loyola Marymount on Friday, who won their conference to secure a bid, finishing with a 32-23 record, while the Bears finished 34-17. The Lions are in the West Coast Conference, who have many schools who have a household name, such as St. Mary's, Gonzaga, Pepperdine, and BYU, just to name a few. Now, earlier in the show, I mentioned that the Bears have California roots, especially in their coaching staff, and because of that, the team is prepared to face any style of baseball this postseason.
You hear about different styles of baseball all across the country, and everyone kind of knows that California baseball is known for pitching and defense, and they do it at a really high level. And this coaching staff has gone from California baseball to the Big 12, so it's really unique that they know all these styles of baseball. And the way we're going to prepare today is for a California style of baseball.
The biggest thing is that that's how we coach, so we're kind of prepared for it, and that's one of the reasons that we do it is for this very moment right now. Is we work on all of our bunt defenses, work on all our picks, we work on a bunch of things for this very reason.
The first pitch is scheduled for Friday at 3 p.m. Central on ESPN3. Now, Texas A&M is heading out to Morgantown for West Virginia's regional, and they will be facing the Duke Blue Devils, who are sporting the number 3 seed. And this season marks the Aggies' 13th consecutive appearance in the NCAA tournament, which is the 3rd longest active streak in the nation. And now the winner of the A&M and Duke game will play whoever wins between WVU and Fordham. The Aggies, they are heading to WVU with a chip on their shoulder after they were not chosen to host regionals. On the mound, their ace, lefty John Doxakis, has set the tone early on in every series, as he usually starts game 1, and he enters the postseason with a 1.76 ERA, which is pretty incredible, sporting a 4-2 record with 63 strikeouts.
We're excited. Obviously, there's some pretty good teams out there, and I mean, we're going to have to play our best ball in order to get out of there. And we're excited to hit the road and go play there. And I don't really know what it's going to entail, but I think we're going to be all right out there.
I'm looking forward to it. I've never been there, and you know they've had an amazing year and got a really good team. But Duke has an amazing team as well, and that'll be our focus. But you know they have a beautiful park and a great setting. You know I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Over on the gridiron, this past weekend, a young fullback made a name for himself, Bladen Reeves, as he went to a camp over the weekend with the Aggies. Now, he was initially committed to Henderson State, but he is no longer going there and will be a walk-on at Texas A&M. He is a very versatile player and could make a big difference with the Aggies this upcoming season. Switching over to the NFL, Jason Witten has not lost a step since coming out of retirement. Now, when he left the Cowboys, he was a leader in the locker room and on the field. And now that he is back, he has taken over his old role, and Dak Prescott is thrilled to have his go-to guy back on the field.
So great. I mean, just a great dude. I mean, we all know that. Just a great guy, great teammate, great in the locker room, just an amazing player at that. So just to have him back and to see that, I guess the trick is to take a year off, because, I mean, he's definitely gotten better, stronger, and faster. So just to see everything that he's done coming back and the shape that he's in and the way he's moving, and then hadn't lost anything, hadn't lost a step, and just the way he's come in and been a leader, leading guys, leading that room, and helping this offense. So it's great.
Now, we mentioned earlier in the early show, we were talking about Randall Cobb, and that's another tool for Dak Prescott. I mean, Jason Witten, he is such a go-to guy and great in the red zone, and I'm telling you, the Cowboys, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this season.
A lot of Cowboys wishes come true.
I know, getting holiday presents early right now.
Exactly. Very true. All right, thanks, Mandy. Well, coming up, a squirrel getting cozy with humans, but picky about the food they're giving her.
Picky or choosy?
I don't know. Take your pick.
Out.
All right, we're meeting her next.
Brought to you by Palmera's Tex-Mex Con Sabor, a passion to deliver consistent flavor, service, cocktails, and ambience. Now open in Harker Heights.
It's a 4th of July celebration like no other. The Belton Area Chamber of Commerce invites you to celebrate June 29th through July 7th, starting with a downtown street party, carnival, parade, backyard party, and fireworks at Chef's Barbecue, Western Gift Show, and PRCA Rodeo. Live music, fireworks, shopping, food, and so much more. Bring the whole family for a weekend of celebration. Visit RodeoBelton.com for all the details, deals, and tickets. It's the 4th of July celebration and PRCA Rodeo, June 29th through July 7th. Family fun for all.
This is the Durabit of the all-new Chevy Silverado.
That is huge.
It offers a built-in 120-volt outlet. Wow. Plug that in for me.
Oh, holy smoke.
Wow. And the all-new Silverado has more trim levels than any other pickup.
Oh, wow. There's something for all of us.
It's time to upgrade.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on this all-new Silverado Texas Edition, or get a total value of over $8,500. Plus, get an additional $1,500 cash allowance when you finance with GM Financial.
First 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
During GMC's Truck Month, get over $8,500 total value on this next generation Sierra SLT. Plus, get an additional $1,000 purchase allowance when you finance through GM Financial.
Visit these Central Texas GMC dealers.
On the water, peaceful, exhilarating. Whether you're fishing or racing with the wind in your face, let Tightlines Premium Fishing Tackle help you do it right. From tackle to Bass Cat boats, Tightlines has it all. Enter the Tightlines Kiss My Bass contest today for a chance to win a brand new 10-foot bona fide angling kayak and other great prizes. Visit centexproud.com/contests and enter. There's no place you'd rather be than on the water. Let Tightlines Premium Fishing Tackle get you there right.
Bad sleep?
The worst.
There's really no excuse for bad sleep during the extended Memorial Day sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend, or get $100 off any Doctor's Choice Original. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic mattress sets and get a $300 Furniture Row gift certificate. Plus 4 years no interest. Hurry! The extended Memorial Day sale at Denver Mattress ends Thursday.
Waco. On Saturday, June 1st, WWE Live returns with an epic main event.
The stakes couldn't be much higher.
Anything goes as Roman Reigns takes on Elias and Kevin Owens, with the winner receiving a future WWE Championship opportunity. And don't miss Charlotte Flair and Matt Hardy.
This is awesome!
It's WWE Live in Waco on Saturday, June 1st. Tickets and WWE Superstar Experience packages are available.
Sponsored by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Stop by this month for Camo Cup for a Cause, benefiting military charities.
All right, there is a squirrel in Seattle that has a serious addiction. Now, this squirrel loves cheese more than they love humans. Well, at least cheese-flavored products. You know those little cheese puffs?
I like cheese puffs.
Yeah. Now,
eats them like I do.
You can see she's borrowing the Cheetos with no intention of giving them back, commandeering perhaps. And she also enjoys cheese crackers, cheesy potato chips, you name it.
Cheese pizza?
Cheese pizza just for her, likely. She is a park favorite critter, and she's friendly, of course. She's not going to bite unless you got some food for her, then she'll take that away. She has a human approach down pat, though, and sometimes she crawls, dives right into zippers, backpack strollers, and just takes what she wants because she is a thug, pretty much. She's
like
a thug
her.
squirrel.
I like her. So cute. She's dangerously cheesy.
Look at her, just climbing up a leg. I would not be able to stand right there. It's not easy being cheesy for that squirrel. I had one shot to ever use that on TV.
And you just did.
Tell us the
weather.
weather.
We're done. All right.
Let's go. I'm out.
Weather-wise, a lot of clouds, tomorrow, a little sunshine, 92 degrees. Showers and thunderstorms are likely late Wednesday. Some of these may be strong to severe, and we'll keep you posted, so make sure you watch tomorrow.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.